guys, welcome back to the show today. We have an amazing show. I'm so excited about it. So today we have Leslie and Carolyn from Roller Sleeves, and they're going to be showing some of the beautiful transformations that they do with their business. I'm also going to be teaching you a refinishing technique that's really going to step up your whole refinishing game. And we're also going to be taking a trip to one of my most favorite places, and I'm sure you can probably guess what that is. So today we're going to be talking about thrifting. Now, you may have heard that term before. Thrifting essentially means when you shop at either a flea market, garage sale, or you head to your local thrift store and you buy things inexpensively. Now, even though you may be buying them inexpensively, it doesn't mean that the quality is not very good. So I'm going to take you on a trip to one of my favorite thrift stores, the Salvation Army, and I'm going to give you my top tips on how to get some of the best finds when you go thrifting. Hi guys, so here I am at one of my most favorite places to thrift, and I have a really good feeling about today. So come with me and I'm going to give you my top tips on how to find some really amazing stuff whenever you go thrifting. I've barely been in here. I've been in here for maybe 30 seconds, and look what I found. I found this really great dresser. Now this, even though it's brown, it's not the best color, just a really nice coat of paint would really change this up, and it would be really, really easy to refinish. But if you take a look, a lot of times when you do come thrifting, there's always hidden stuff. So you do have to take a look around. And I just found this gorgeous piece here. This would be perfect at a front entranceway, and it's solid wood. Okay, I just found another great piece. This one was kind of hidden off to the side, and that's why it's so important whenever you go thrifting is to really take your time and to look behind things, because this beauty was hiding behind some other pieces of furniture. But if you take a look at this is another amazing piece. It would be fine just as it is, but if you wanted to refinish it, if you wanted to change the wood or even paint it, this would be a gorgeous piece. The details are amazing, and the legs are fantastic, which is another thing you want to take a look at when you are looking to thrift. You want to find pieces that have lots of really gorgeous detail or something a little bit different about them, and this piece definitely has it. If you're ever looking for chairs, make sure to hit your local thrift store first. I'm always amazed at the amount that they have and the quality of their chairs. Most of the time they're solid wood, but they just look a little bit tired. But these are really well-made chairs, and they will last you a lifetime. So all you really need to do is just put a really nice coat of paint on it, and you can really transform it. And changing the upholstery on the seat is actually quite easy to do. So next time you're at the thrift store, if you do see a chair, don't walk by, take a look. Look what I just found. Look at this gorgeous piece of art. Whenever you go to your thrift store, make sure to hit some of the art aisles, because you'll be amazed at some of the stuff that you can find. And even if you don't love the frame, you can really easily paint it out into something that's a little bit more updated or something that works with your own decor. But I love this piece of art. It might have to come home with me. There's not only really great furniture that you can find when you are at your local thrift store, but in the aisles, you can usually find some really amazing glassware, some decor, and a lot of really other amazing things. One tip to make sure that you don't miss any hidden treasures is to make sure that you stop and you take a look on each shelf. Usually what I do is I'll come in and I'll stop and I'll move things around so I can make sure that I can see anything that might be hidden behind. Like this, for example. These are awesome. And I love the colors on them. Another great find. Ooh. So another really great reason why I love coming to a thrift store is that it's a great way to be able to try out some of the new trends. Right now, we're seeing a lot of 80s kind of decor popping up right now in interior design, and this is kind of the perfect 80s piece right here. And it's only $5.99. Okay guys, so one of the really important things that I just mentioned about making sure that you take a look through the aisles is because you can find cool things like this. A little bit of Ottawa history here. And all you need is a really nice frame. And they're at a steal. They're only 99 cents. think I might have to pick these up. These are fantastic. Gorgeous artwork. I don't think you can ever have too many vases. And these are so vintage, retro, with lots of gorgeous texture on them. I love them. Perfect for holding some really gorgeous flowers. This is another great find. So I hope you had fun walking through one of my favorite thrift stores with me. Remember, next time you are looking at finding some ways to decorate your space, make sure to hit your local thrift store. You never know what you can find. Okay, you must have been able to see how happy I was in my element. I had so much fun being able to go through the Salvation Army thrift store. And whenever I go, I always make sure that I take my time, grab a coffee, and just kind of walk through and enjoy it. Now, I brought back a few things today of what I found, and a couple of things. So this basket, if you take a look at it, it's gorgeous. Look at all the texture on it. This is perfect for throwing some blankets in, maybe sticking some umbrellas in at your front door, but there's so many really cool uses for this. So I was so happy to find it because baskets are a really great way to be able to have some texture. These I found, and I'm just in love with it. These are so vintage and retro, and the gorgeous thing about them is that there's so much beautiful texture on them. And there's two of them, just like this. I love it. The other thing, did you happen to notice? I also found this little guy here, and I love this little container. It's gorgeous. It would be perfect up on a bar. This is something else that I found too. This I didn't get at the thrift store, but I did happen to find this through a buy and sell group on Facebook, which is another really great way to find some really thrifty finds. So these are all some of the cool things that I happened to find when I was on my thrift hunt. Make sure that you save my tips. Go out, hit your local thrift store, and have some fun. Oh, I also meant to show you this too. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Another beautiful tray. There's so many things that you can find. Make sure to hit your local thrift store. Have fun thrifting. Hey, welcome back. So I found some really amazing finds when I went thrifting in the last segment, and I brought back a really cool piece that I am going to show you how to really step up your finishing game. I'm going to teach you how to do a technique called a color wash. Now there's so many reasons why I love doing the color wash, and I'll show you in a few minutes. So I have a picture of a piece of furniture that I've done just a slight color wash of a drawer, just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So if you happen to notice, just in the corners, right in the corners of the drawer, you can see just a little bit of a haze of the white. That is called a color wash. And I'm going to show you how to do that technique and to create a really gorgeous finish. So this is what I happened to find when I went thrifting. It's this gorgeous frame. It's perfect, it's ornate. Somebody had painted it before, and there's quite a bit of cracking and stuff. It wasn't really the best paint job, but it's okay because when I paint over it, it's going to give it a really beautiful finish. And you notice how much I love frames because behind me I have a whole lot of frames. So one thing I just wanted to mention, so this was a piece that I found at the Salvation Army, and I love frames. And just to kind of give you an idea, when you are looking at furniture or decor items, sometimes you can find some really interesting things. Now, I'm going to get we're going to do a bit of a close-up on this because I really want you to get a really good idea of this piece. Do you see this here? This was in the frame. I find this kind of frightening that maybe it should be in a horror movie of some sort. But the great thing about it, and if you would have been here over the break, the crew all came in, everyone came in to take a look. And when we peeled back, we found this is an actual old newspaper. Isn't that amazing? And right down here, it says here that this was done in 1932. So that's one of the really great things about thrifting is that you never know what you're going to find, and you can find really cool things. So it's always important just to kind of take a look and see. But I find that pretty cool. Okay, so let's get to it. So we're going to be painting. So I'm going to use Fusion metallic paints. That is the same product that I have back on these gorgeous frames behind me. And I've already prepped, because remember, you always need to prep your furniture first. That is probably the most important thing to do, as we talked about. You want to make sure that you really give it a good clean first. So I'm going to get right to it. And you see this gorgeous color here? This is Pale Gold by Fusion. I love this. And this is perfect to put on frames. You also notice that I'm using a pointed brush. Now, why I love this is called a Stahlmeister brush. Why I love these brushes is because it just gets into all the little bits here. Because you can see how ornate this frame is. It just gets all into the little bits. So I'm just going to put one coat over top of it. And you can see already how much this is really changing and how much this is really changing this frame. And it looked a little tired before, but after this, it's going to look amazing. Now, the nice thing about doing a color wash is first thing you apply the base, which is what we're doing now with the Pale Gold here from Fusion. And then you're going to apply another color over top of it. And just a couple of things about technique. So when you are painting, you want to make sure that you're doing nice long strokes. Fusion can go on almost self-leveling if you just make sure that you smooth it out really well. The nice thing about it too is that there's no, you don't need to put a top coat on it or anything after. You could just get to the good stuff, have fun painting, and you can just start transforming your pieces. Now, sometimes I tell people during my courses that when you are looking at, when you are doing this, a color wash, and you're working on the base, which is what we're doing now, that it can be not so exciting. But don't worry, we're going to get to the good stuff in a few minutes. So a nice coat. I'm just going to show you really quickly too. Look at this already. This is the original right here, and then this is the coat that I just put on. You can see how much it really changes the whole frame. So I'm going to keep working on it. Almost done. See, it doesn't take very long either. Another quick tip too, just to make it easier when you are painting, is you really want to make sure that you're holding your brush, that you're holding your brush like this. If you're holding it all the way back here, it's going to hurt your hand and it's not going to be enjoyable. And what I always say about painting, it should be enjoyable, it shouldn't be causing you pain, and you should be having some fun with it. So make sure you can do it and be super comfortable with it. Okay, there we go. So I've already got the one coat on. We're going to let this side dry a little bit, and I'm just going to move it over just like this. And now we're going to get to the good stuff. We're going to do the color wash. So this part is already dry. Fusion takes a few hours for it to dry in between coats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my shop rags, which of course are a furniture refinisher's best friend. Look, I've already got paint on myself, but that's pretty normal whenever I paint. It's part of the fun of it. So I'm going to have my shop cloth. I'm going to fold it into all fours like this, and then I'm going to dampen it quite a bit. So here's the color wash. I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm going to dip it into the paint just like this. This is Coal Black from Fusion, and I'm just going to do a gorgeous color wash all over this. Are you ready? Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit. You can see here. Now I'm just going to dampen my brush off a little bit. And I'm going to go back to the paint. Now, part of this is you don't want this to get super messy when you're doing it. You want to have it so the paint is thick enough, but it's not going all, it's not getting all drippy on you, because then that's just a big mess and then you got to clean up, and that's not fun. So, see that? I'm coloring it. So this is the color wash. This is a gorgeous black, and I think with having the gold just peeking through, it's going to be amazing. Okay, so let's do this. Another tip too, when you are looking at doing a color wash, is you want to keep working in small areas. So I'm just going to work on this. I'm going to give this a bit of a wipe back, and look at that. Look at this. So I have little bits. The great thing about doing a color wash too is that if you have a piece that is really ornate and you have a lot of detail on it, this is a great way to really accentuate it. And again, there's not really a right or wrong way to do this. If you do it and you feel that you've taken off way too much, all you need to do is just go back and add a little bit more paint to your brush. So it's super easy, but oh my goodness, it looks so good. Look at this. So gorgeous. So the other thing about doing a color wash is that depending on the colors that you use, you can really change the whole look of it. I could have done a white color over top. I could have, you know, done a darker on the bottom. So that's it. I'm going to keep working on this. Remember your color wash, and next up after the break, guests. Hey, welcome back. So I love having really cool makers and creators here that are local here in Ottawa. And today we have Leslie and Carolyn here from Roll Her Sleeves. And I'm going to describe them as kind of a next level painting company, because they are they're just creating some really gorgeous work. So thanks so much, Carolyn and Leslie, for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Oh, awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and your business and how you kind of got started?
So I started the business 10 years ago, right after college, where I studied theater, so scenic arts and set painting. And I knew that house painting was a good way to make money besides just being in theater. So I thought I would combine my skills and do some fun faux finishes and murals along with, you know, regular painting houses. And then 5 years into my business, I met Leslie on Kijiji, actually.
Okay.
It's like golden find.
Yes.
And she's been working with me directly ever since, and she's really brought some amazing things to the table, like design work. That's what Leslie studied in school. She studied graphic design, so she lays out all of our murals. And it's just been a really beautiful relationship ever since. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So let's show our viewers some of your gorgeous work that you've done. We have some pictures that'll be coming up, and we can show, so maybe you can talk just briefly about what we're seeing here.
We work a lot with Leclerc Decor, so this was a wall that's, I think, been heavily shown on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a geometric pattern that we did. So what we do is we kind of measure it all out, and that's us in the measuring process.
Yeah. And I think we have the finished product.
The finish should be after.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It is so gorgeous.
I think that's it's right near Lansdowne, this wall.
Wow. Amazing. And this is like a feature wall in someone's home.
Yep. Yeah, I think she rents it out for Airbnbs too. I'm not entirely sure about that, but
I think we have another picture coming up too.
Yeah, so this was a faux ombre wall we did, again for Leclerc Decor.
Wow.
In a Richcraft model home. And so Leslie and I did this one together. And it's like a darker blue on top and a lighter blue laid into it.
Gorgeous. I think we have, oh yes, this one.
That's,
wow.
Yeah. That was a faux rust wall we did for a couple who wanted a faux rust wall, which I thought was really cool.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, we have the sample here with us today, and those are like maybe 4 or 5 layers of a first base coat of a dark with some metallics and red oxide and gold on top.
Oh, amazing. And this?
This is a faux concrete fireplace we also did for Leclerc Decor. That's their personal home, and they had a drywaller bump out like a reveal.
The mantle,
yeah. And then we applied the faux concrete finish just with paint, so there's no actual texture. It's smooth. It's like it's a faux finish.
Oh my goodness. So essentially, this was just a straight wall, plain wall, not a lot going on, and you guys came in and you created a faux concrete wall.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Those are some faux marble samples that we've done in the past.
Wow. So where would people use these? Where would you paint them?
We've done a lot of columns in people's houses where they want faux marble, so maybe they have like a just standard white, like a glossy white pillar, and they want to add some interest.
Oh,
so we've done that a
nice.
few times.
Oh my goodness. Did you guys do this by hand?
This was a stencil, actually.
Wow.
So we made 3 separate cardboard stencils, and it's also for a Richcraft model home that we did that in.
Gorgeous. And you can just see in this room too how like the impact of having something like that. You don't need to have much else going on.
For sure.
But the colors and the pattern, it just creates so much interest. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous work.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's what we love to do.
And you guys brought some samples in today.
We did. So this is the faux rush sample that was shown on that wall.
Yeah.
So there's metallics, and we do a lot of spattering. So that's when you kind of water down the paint and fling it, which on a vertical wall can be tricky, but that's why the benefit of both of us is very handy.
Yeah, so Leslie, now you've mentioned that you're a graphic designer. So when you guys are working together, what in terms of your role, how do you guys work together? Because one of the things that I'm really blown away is that when you are working, when you are doing something creative, it's such an individual process. But what I'm really amazed about is how you two can kind of come together, work together, and create work together to create gorgeous things like that.
It can be really tricky to work with other people, and I find with Carolyn and I, we've worked so closely together for so long, and she really trained me kind of from the bottom up as all the house painting basics, and she's shown me some of the faux finishing and theater stuff, and I've shown her some of the design stuff and kind of visual arts sort of thing. So we've always had that sort of kind of symbiotic relationship where we're learning from each other and also balancing each other, but also just having that patience and that willingness to want to work as part of the team and know that you're half of an equation, and coming together to make something a whole is something really beautiful, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah, and you can really see in your work, it's gorgeous and it's really amazing. So maybe we could talk a little bit. You can show some of the samples, but what I'd love you to talk about is what you guys can offer, because it sounds like you guys can pretty much do anything. And that's why I call you guys the next level in terms of painting company, because it's not just painting, but you do murals, you do.
Yeah, I think when a client asks for something unique besides painting gray in their homes, what we usually do is to ask them to send us some inspiration photos, and that's why I really like the sample.
Yeah,
because if it's a faux finish, it's really hard to just talk when you don't have something tangible to look at. So a sample gives us the benefit of tweaking colors without having to.
Do you want to hold up that
just
one?
talk, because when you communicate, it's really hard to know exactly and pinpoint what you like and what you don't. So.
Yeah. And how do you work with clients then that maybe they want something really gorgeous on their wall, but they have no idea where to start? How do you kind of work with them on that process?
So that's why I also like the benefit of the two of us too, because what I think could look nice, it's nice to also have like a secondary option of Leslie's input. So we ask for inspiration photos, and then if it's like a mural, Leslie will map it out in Illustrator, and that's really helpful. If it's more of a faux finishy thing, I'll be the one doing the samples and getting like a reference point of how to create what they're looking for.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, just such gorgeous work, and I love the amount of creativity here, and the fact that you guys can pretty much offer anything to people with wallpaper. So we got about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Maybe we can talk about how people can find you.
We're on Instagram at Roll Her Sleeves, and we have a website, www.rollhersleevespainting.com. And then just because when I'm working, I'm spattering and on ladders, I always find if you're going to call us, just send me a text.
Awesome.
Because
Yeah, thanks so much for coming in today, and make sure to check out Roll Her Sleeves Up, and happy thrifting. See you soon.